This is something to be aware of in Spain, but I had a 4 hour conversation with a lawyer who's now a friend. He's working for a legal practice up in Calpe. But I was explaining about the issues with the Foreigners Office, with Residencia and other bits and pieces. And he actually brought the legislation relating to the laws with him. So we actually went through the EU legislation. And I will say that a lot of jesters and other people that tell you they know the system and whatever don't seem to have a clue. I think what happens is a lot of people get a little process where they go, right, so you want to change your car registration plates, and they've got the information from somebody else, so they know that one process. So you got that process here, and then go, okay, well that's the process everybody has to do. That's just an example. That's why they'll say you need to get rid of your British car, or you need to get a Spanish car, or you need Spanish plates on it, etc. Reality is there's actually a third way, which is where if you're an actual employee, or like for example, if you were only here temporary. So say you were sent here by an international company, you're normally based in the UK, and then you come to Spain. There is a third system for getting your car legally recognised in Spain and legally on the road. Only one person has actually brought that thing to me, which was Steve out in Ibiza, and he actually did it. So it does actually work. Why is that important? Well, the fact is, if you have a British car, maybe you don't want to get rid of it. You get people on forums go, oh yeah, but driving on the wrong side of the road, what about when you're overtaking? I rarely overtake anybody here. I'm not in a rush. But the reality is, I could have just dealt with the paperwork and saved myself extra money. But then again, I'm still happy with the van anyway. But that's just one thing, because everyone says, you must do this. But the reality is, no, you don't. There's actually another version. To become residencia, you've got to be employed in Spain. You've got to be a retiree. You've got to be this, X, Y, Z. There is now another version that the lawyer brought to me yesterday, which was actually quite an interesting one. Because you can be employed in the UK, but your residencia is in Spain. Because you can hold dual residency and actually transfer your tax liabilities from the United Kingdom to Spain. Because if you're in Spain more than the 90 days, etc., you're starting to become a resident anyway. Most of the people I've talked to about this over the nearly 2 years, not one of them have even understood it, because what they get? The forms. Because the last person had to do this for the last 5 years, and then they've just kept the process up. They haven't followed the laws, they haven't kept up to date with anything, they have no idea what really goes on. What they've been told is previously you had to have 5,000 euros in the bank, or whatever the amount was. You just go down, say here you are, and then in February of this year it all changed. Reality was that wasn't correct anyway. It's just that that's what the Spanish accepted, because as long as you're buying a house or something, they generally didn't care. But lately they've tightened up on a lot of legislation, and also looked at enforcing the laws that already exist, because they want to stop people getting benefits and other things, and ending up like the UK in many ways. So be aware, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, and I'm thinking of starting a little group on probably alicantespain.net to discuss these sort of topics, because the best way of getting this information is when people like myself, like you, go and do something, you then share what you did that week. This has worked so well in the Philippines, because I know how to do the process for residency in the Philippines. But I can give you the process, and a guy could go next week and it's slightly changed. But if he comes back and says, I was at this office, this is what they required, it then updates the system continuously, which means the information that we all have is actually more valuable than some lazy person sat in an office taking a 40, 60 euros, whatever a month for doing nothing, or charging you 110 euros to do a pad run that only takes minutes to do yourself, or does your NIE for 140 euros and it only actually costs what, 16 euros, less than that for the actual cost of going across the road to the bank to pay for it, and takes about 20 minutes to fill in, but they don't even fill it in for you. They give you all the forms for you to do. So the reality is they don't even earn their money on that side. The only advantage they've got is they speak Spanish. But a lot of them are sloppy. I wouldn't mind if they were professional people that actually understood the law, understood what they needed to be doing, kept up to date with information. But a lot of the time, they'll send you along to come back and say they rejected it. And then they'll go, oh, I'll have to find out why now. No, you should have found out why before you turn around and wasted my time. I know I sound quite aggressive with this. It's because these people often target the elderly, because they're looking to make money off the elderly, because they're an easy target, because they're like, you're in a foreign country, people don't speak English, etc. As such, a lot of these people will exploit the situation to the maximum. So I'm thinking, let's actually do it properly. If you want free advice, we'll do free advice. If you want us to do it with you or do it for you, then obviously we'll look at doing a processing fee. But the difference is now, I've been here 2 years November, but I've now actually got a lawyer on board that's actually willing to help and interested to do it as well. Not only this sort of stuff, but dealing with transactions for houses, mortgage, what do you call it? Well, it might even sort your mortgages out, I suppose, because they're dealing with the banking, I suppose. But it'll do wills, house transfers, trusts, lots of the day-to-day things which are a headache in Spain. And the thing for me is, and here, this is why our conversation lasted nearly 4 hours, is we want to do it in an honest way and at the right money and as an advisory function rather than a profiteering function. We want to be an expat service. We want to be able to help people. Money becomes secondary, but obviously it's still important because if we're doing it full time, we need to pay for us being here. But at the same time, we're not looking to get rich off this. We're looking to provide a reliable service that helps people with day-to-day life in Spain. But this is why I'm saying, be aware, a lot of people do not know what they're telling you, they do not know what they're selling, they do not understand the laws, etc. They do not invest in themselves even, which is even more frustrating, because they should know the law. That's what they're being paid for. That's why you pay them. And that's why I'm saying, I want to get rid of some of these people, because they're bad. They're bad for business. They're bad for you, they're bad for me, they waste our money. I don't like them. Alright, thanks for watching.